This is Lance and Roll, the voice of the fans, and this is the League of Ireland review, match day 15. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and of course, this is Irish football's most interactive podcast. It is Lansdowne Roar, of course. Conor, how are you doing? A big week in Irish football ahead. Of course, we're doing the review here. We've got the squad announcement tomorrow. You've got a big day up in the big smoke. First time in Dublin, Conor.
Get up. Can't wait to get on the monitor. First time ever. But no, I was just laughing to myself there thinking, because if you remember, Dave, when you were watching last night, I was told, why does Conor not talk about the electricity? Or why he's not supporting the electricity? But I've just decided today we'll start talking about it for the first time ever. But no, I'm good. I'm watched a great match of football tonight. I know it wasn't League of Ireland related, but the standard wasn't great, and that's Sunderland Coventry. But the drama was good with the last minute winner for Sunderland in extra time. But Alan Brown heading to playoff final after playing 0 minutes this game. But anyway, we'll move on. I'm looking forward to speaking about the League of Ireland. It was another mental weekend of football.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, yes, as we were, if you haven't checked it out yet, our live, it is on the YouTube channel. It is in the archives over at lansdowneroar.ie or at Spotify, where you can also get an audio version of this. Yes, apparently we don't talk about the electricity.
No, it was me. It was aimed at me.
Conor
no, just me.
I wasn't on, but yes, we Conor and I have done every match day. But anyway, and actually, before we get started, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please do also head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account, and head over to our Spotify and also wherever you get your podcasts, and lansdowneroar.ie for opinion and match day reports. It really does help, and you are lovely people. And if you would be so kind, you can support the page by heading over, well, in the description below on the video. Buy us a coffee now, please, and you can give us whatever you want, or nothing. It's but give us something. Anyway, let's get into it. Yes, big week, obviously, in Irish football. The squad will be announced later on today. Conor will be in Dublin. We will be live from 10 o'clock Wednesday night. And we're going to get your reaction. We're going to give you our reaction, and we're going to get your reaction as well. So do hop on the YouTube, on the Facebook, and the Twitter for that. Now, Conor, enough about that. Let's talk about League of Ireland. Of course, we're going to show you the results here. I hope.
Please.
Yeah, we got them here. Match day 15 results. Now, of course, there were 4 games played on the Friday. Cork City at home to Derry City, losing 2-1. And more on that. Shamrock Rovers battering Drogheda United 3-0 at home. Shels, late winner against St. Pat's at Talca Park. Waterford, of course, 1-0 winners over Galway United. And then the next day, Bohemians went to Sligo Rovers, and that man there, Mousset. Moose. He is off.
He's arrived.
He has arrived. It's only taken him 10 games. 15 games, sorry. He's finally arrived there for Bows with the winner. Just on the first game there, obviously, Cork City losing 2-1 at home to Derry. Daniels. Boyce and Holt with the goals here for Derry. And, of course, Daniels with... Well, he had an equaliser. It didn't last too long. Yeah. But their manager, Cork City manager, he walked after the game.
Yeah. Tim Clancy walking after the game is mad. It's absolutely crazy, to be honest. But you can see that he's on a very tight string budget there. He was on, I think it was Off the Ball. He was on and speaking about the lack of full-time staff on the coaching situation with Cork, and it's too much pressure on one man, and he felt he was doing us a service for the club at this stage because mentally he wasn't there really anymore because there's so much stress on him doing that job. And in fairness, he seemed to be, a lot of Cork fans are absolutely devastated with how the club's been run at the moment. And how well they're getting told they're getting run off the pitch, but in terms of on the pitch, they've not really backed the manager from getting promoted. They haven't really changed too much, even though Daniels that they've signed has turned out to be seems to be a good signing anyway, even though when they get Maguire back, it'll probably be a dangerous front two. Daniel's 3 goals in his last 2 games, which is quite impressive. But no, it's a bit of a mess at Cork City. We've seen that Cal O'Sullivan was at Crystal Palace's under-21s game last night, watching them against Southampton. So I think that's a big hint where he will end up signing this summer. So Cork, I don't know, they're going to be in a real dogfight down at the bottom of the table. It looks like they're bringing in Jaron Nash as their new head coach. But I guess no matter who you have as manager, if you don't have the players and if you don't have enough full-time staff, or you're not got the budget behind you to really invest in a squad, you're not going to last in this league anymore, because this reality is there's too much money floating around these days, especially when you're coming up against a team like Derry, like the money they paid for Kevin Holt there and in the window in January, and he seems to be a serious signing for them. They put the money in, and it's coming back to like reward them as such. Like they're very high up on the table yet at the moment. They're in a title race. I know there's a lot of teams in a title race, but they're well in the thick of it. And I think it was an example of two teams, that one is being backed properly and one is not.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad. As you said, I'm looking at the table. Of course, Cork City are in trouble. Looks like them. Don't want to spot it too much, but that, Cork City and Sligo are really cut adrift at the bottom there. So all drama down there. There was a couple of rumours, wasn't it? That maybe Roy Keane, because he was down there, ex-Cove Ramblers midfielder. He was at the game, wasn't he? But obviously, you dispelled that myth, didn't you, last night? If you just want to remind the Raw faithful there.
No, I think someone was just trying to say he'd be a good choice. But he was there 2 weeks in a row, which is a bit interesting that they went to see them 2 weeks in a row. I don't know, maybe he just enjoys going to watch Cork City, but no, I don't think we'd.
Who does?
No, I don't think we'll see Roy Keane managing the league of Ireland, even though it'd be some entertainment, wouldn't it? Himself and Damien Duff going at each other on the sideline would be serious crack.
Do you know what? I tell you what, I'd love to see it. I'd really love to see it. It would bring the profile of the league.
Yeah.
Now that would bring the profile of the league up onto a worldwide stage again. That would be brilliant to see. Whether it be any good or not, I don't know. But that would be amazing. Not going to happen though, of course. And I can already envision the text message I'm going to get over that statement from a few people. But anyway, next game, of course, Shamrock Rovers 3-0 winners over Drogheda. 3 second half goals. Green, Grace, Gaffney. Green and Grace 3 minutes apart. And of course, Gaffney with the easiest goal you're ever going to see. Brilliant running there by Christ, what's his name, Conor? The young lad. He chased him down, didn't he? And the goalkeeper tried to header out.
Oh, Michael Noonan. Sorry, yeah, Michael Noonan.
Sorry, it is late here, folks, in London, and it's quite bloody warm. And he chased him down, didn't he? Goalkeeper heads it off him. Bounce off Noonan, and Gaffney just taps it in. Fantastic. What an opening goal, though, by the way. Lovely touch of control by Green, wasn't it?
Brilliant, yeah, superb, yeah. You were starting to see the real Shamrock Rovers now of late. I know they're saying they lack a striker, but the football they play is lovely, especially when they're at home in Tala on a wonderful surface, and the ability they have in their squad, like even with the players are missing through injury at the moment, they've so much depth. I know in the striker position, you wonder, is there a real lack of depth there? I know it's centre back as well. Maybe they could do one or two more options there, but they are. You could say they are probably the deepest squad in Ireland in terms of what they've got in every position. And Drogheda, I know Drogheda people might think, oh no, that's the start of Drogheda losing games, but I think when you bring any team to Tala, they're very hard to play against. And Drogheda weren't actually playing that bad. They had Graham Burke obviously missed a penalty in the first half, and Drogheda had some chances. They did not like to play great football, but defensively they were quite solid until the first goal went in, and then I think it was a thing of how they're going to get back into this game, and then Rovers went into cruise control and got the extra 2 after that. But I don't think this will really affect Drogheda too much in the long run. It's a free hit for them going away to Tala, especially with the style of football they have. It's a lot harder to play that on the surface they have.
You know what? Somebody who's unfamiliar with the league table probably like, what is he talking about? Of course, it's damaging for them in the league. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's really not. It's an 8-horse race in a 10-horse league. Next game up, we're talking about Shelburne and Pats. Mace Amelia with a incredible opener there in the 29th minute. And then, of course, Wood and McEnroy getting the winners last at the death. Fantastic finish there by McEnroy. Lovely goal there. But that's a blow. That is a massive blow for Pats, who are struggling. I mean, Shelburne were struggling. They'd lost the last 2 games, so they really needed this. Pats have now lost the last 2 games. In their last 5 games, they've drawn 1, lost 3, and won 1. And actually, Shels have won 1, drawn 2, lost to. So two teams really struggling for form there at the moment. So great win for Shels. I told you.
Yeah, it was mad. It was a real tale of two halves. I thought it was past first half. I thought were brilliant. They were excellent. Mason Melia showed why I think he's the best young player we've ever seen play in the League of Ireland. The lad oozes class.
What a finish.
Even though when it's not coming to finishing, it's everything else he offers to a game is just
Movement.
was just world class. World class, I mean world class, but world class for a 17-year-old, I would say anyway. Unless your name's Lamine Yamal, but he's just a different level. But anyway, when it got to half time, you probably were thinking, oh, Pats could end up going in cruise control here. But Damien Duff was brave, made 3 changes at half time, and instantly Harry Wood scored pretty much right away after the break. And Shels then went into, I think, champion mode where they started to overpower Pats. Pats were very poor in the second half, I thought. And Damien Duff was questioning, but I think it was more the mentality players after seeing the lack a lot of league winners in that team that have been there and done it before. But then Karen McEnroy with a lovely goal, in fairness, to win the game at the end. And he's been one of the best players in the League of Ireland this season. Probably doesn't get the praise from some people because he's not Irish, because if an Irish player's doing really well, there's always be the call-up shouts. But because he's Scottish, I kind of probably might go under the radar a bit more. But in fairness, he's been top 2, top 3 midfielders in the league this season, and he scored a wonderful goal at the weekend. He's been an absolutely brilliant signing for Shels. I think he got renewed his contract not that long ago as well to extend that. So no, it's a huge win for Shels. You think they needed that win more than Pats did, because Shels were on a real slump. But I think worry for Pats to lose that game after going 1-0 up and being so impressive in the first half. But I'm sure Shels or Pats will probably bounce back from that.
Yep. I mean, they're still well in it. It's a lot
And
of
the
football.
one thing is, they have money to burn in transfer. Well, it's not like they're an elite Premier League club that has whatever they want. But in terms of League of Ireland circles, they will probably spend quite heavily in the summer.
Absolutely. Next up, Waterford 1-0 winners of Galway Leahy with a goal on the 27th minute. That is Waterford. That is 4 games. They are the form team in the League of Ireland at the moment. They've won their last 4 games on the bounce. Galway now have lost their last 3. And Waterford, as well as Galway, they're in the hunt. They are realistically in this title race as them and 7 other teams. Absolutely madness.
Yeah, John Coleman on his first game has taken them to be champions. But no, it's good to see the turnaround for Waterford, because we thought they were going to be in a relegation battle, like a real relegation battle, and they've already got themselves away from that. It's mad to think that they went from being in a relegation battle to a title race already. So no, but in fairness, Waterford, the RSC is a tough place for anyone to go to. Galway had chances. You'd wonder how they didn't equalise at some stages, but Waterford done what they don't do very well, and they managed to grind that result out. And the do thing is, Waterford have a lot of talent in their team, and maybe just hasn't clicked so far this season, and they've been unlucky in some games not to get more points. I think we've seen really since Matt Lawler came in as interim, and now with John Coleman, we're starting to see the best of this Waterford side. And the thing is, we know reality, Waterford aren't going to win a league, probably not going to be in European places at the end of the season, but you never know. But I think the main thing of them is just being well away from that relegation battle, which I think they've put enough points between them and now to at least they'll definitely avoid last place, and whether the second last is still a big stretch for Cork to catch them.
Yeah, I mean, Galway have the top goal scorer in the league, don't they? Moses Dwyer.
Yeah.
Dyer on 8 goals. Fantastic. Yeah, Waterford. I mean, they're only 5 points off the top of the pot. It's brilliant. Last game, of course, was Sligo Rovers. The bit of red at home to Bows. Of course, it lost 1-0. And Mousset, the man, with the winner, a late winner, 88th minute. Although Owen Elding did miss a penalty for Sligo, and that would prove to be a massive miss for those. But yeah, Sligo Rovers, that's looking at the form table here. In the last 5, they have lost 3, drawn 2. They're a bit of a shambles at the moment. Bows, in their last 5, have won 4, lost 1. Didn't have to come from behind this time, Conor. So they're right back in the title hunt. 2 points off.
It's mad. They're on a very good run, in fairness, and I think it's Rennie time. I know it wasn't injury time, but what was it, 80th minute? And then the Moose got his first goal, and
Mm.
I think it's something that we've all been waiting for. It's a real fairy tale story as such. You could maybe say it's a man that was what the last 2-3 years of his career went from. I know it was more than 2 or 3 years ago that he was playing in the Premier League, but then he went downhill with the Sheffield United when that ended, and then tore his Achilles. Didn't have a club the last 12 to 18 months, and he kind of took a risk on himself coming into the League of Ireland because Bose took a risk, obviously investing in him, and then he took a risk coming to a league of unknown and not really knowing anyone and thinking if it goes wrong here, where do I go from here? And
Mm.
um, it's not like he's tore up anything so far this season. He's been trying to get himself fit whilst playing matches at the same time, and I think everyone, bar Sligo Rovers fans, were somewhat happy for him. It's kind of it's a good thing because I think we all want to see him do well, and uh, it was good to see the joy from him after celebrating with the Bose fans, and the moment he got the goal, it was a nice finish, and you'd wonder will that kick him all to the next level, like, and if he starts scoring goals for Bose and starts doing whilst he gets fitter and leaner, you'd wonder are Bose going to be well in the thick of it come the end of the season because he's that type of player that could propel them into a title race.
Yeah, he does look a bit heavy, doesn't he? He was looking at
Yeah,
him there. Great finish though. Oof, top
yeah,
corner, and fair play to them. And and congratulations to Bose.
yeah.
Just trying to
Pity for
temper.
Sligo. Pity for Sligo. The one
Yeah,
bad thing Owen Elding's done all season is miss that penalty, but I'm sure he'll bounce back because he's a serious talent.
absolutely. Before we get out of here, we're going to just talk a little bit. Obviously, we mentioned at the top of the podcast, of course, the boys in green. The squad is announced by Heimer Halgerson tomorrow in Dublin. Conor, you're going to go to. I can't even speak. You are going to be there, and you're also going to go to the under-21 squad.
No,
That's not
that's not tomorrow.
that's not tomorrow. When is that?
We don't know yet because it hasn't been announced yet. But I don't know. They mightn't do one for the 21s this time because it's all just them friendlies. But we don't know yet. I'm sure
Who
we'll
knows?
find out soon.
But anyway, yes. Well, Conor is going there tomorrow for the squad announcement, and of course, don't forget we will be live from we hope from Dublin for the Senegal game. Same thing's going to apply. We're going to be there for the pre-game, post-match, the aftermath, and of course, we'll be in Luxembourg as well. We're going to have loads of programming coming your way, so do stay tuned. But Conor, just before we get out of here, we want to talk a little bit, obviously, about the squad. You guys spoke about your squad on the live, which is available on the YouTube channel. If you want to go back and look at that, a couple of questions going around. Would it be a couple of League of Ireland players? Would he pick a League of Ireland player? Maybe as an olive branch, maybe out of just pure meritocracy. You went with. I'm gonna have a look here. I've got your squad here still. You went with Mr. Jack Byrne in midfield. You reckon he's gonna get him involved?
No, that's what I want to see. But then as well as Josh Honahan as well. Myself and Josh
Honahan.
Honahan, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know with Jack Byrne. I don't know. Like I think his time, has come and gone a little bit. To be fair to Jack Byrne, when he did play, and I'm going to get pelters for this, when he did play, he's only 29 years of age. I thought he was 28, but there you go. For Ireland, he never looked out of sorts.
Yeah.
When he made his debut on a Mick, didn't he?
New Zealand game, was it?
Yeah, like he always looked comfortable at that level. Obviously, he was played. In particular, I always remember Mick McCarthy, and this is true. This was said. He says, "Oh, I'm going to play him. In a game maybe against, against New Zealand or something like that." Yeah, I am. I'm going to play him against, a team like against us big two Swiss lads and my bollocks. that is what Mick said about it when he was asked about that in London. True story. But I don't know if he's going to get it. I know he's a quality player, and it hasn't worked out from outside the League of Ireland. When he went to England, of course, he got homesick, and he went to Cyprus. He did get shafted a little bit in Cyprus, and he got that big injury out there as well. I think I did say it to you off air, and then I sort of backtracked a little bit, but I thought maybe Mason Mealy would be a shout, just to have a look at him. Maybe get him a clue because look, he's going to a Premier League side, and you said it was a good shout, didn't you, Conor? You actually,
I wouldn't be against it, like because I think if a player is going to be in the near future, and the thing is, they will try and fast track that player, him in particular, as fast as possible because everyone involved in the FAI knows how good Mason Melia is and
Mm.
can be. And I think about Justin, like I wouldn't be shocked at all. As I said, I wouldn't be shocked if he's named the squad tomorrow. I don't expect him to be because I think there's other lads ahead of him at the moment, and that for the qualifiers
I
it's be too early for him.
I'm thinking if this is back in the 90s and you have a 17-year-old like that, like I suppose Evan Ferguson actually, well he's 20 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's 19, sorry. But back in the day in the 90s, if you had a talented 17-year-old, you're throwing him in the first team. Where now we tend to do things a bit more by the book and say no, like put him in with his age group, give him a chance. Don't throw the young lad under the bus, kind of thing. We're back in the days. You're old, you're good enough, you're old enough. Boom. So that's the only thing I'm thinking of that maybe they might think is a bit too soon for him. He is going to a Premier League side. Well, Spurs. It could be a Champions League side next season if they beat United. That's hilarious on so many levels. So he is, and he's probably going to go on loan, isn't he? Like he's going to go on loan probably in a championship somewhere if he does go to. I don't think Tottenham are going to put him straight in the first team, are they?
Well, he's meant to be going straight into the first team, but I don't think he.
Really?
I think he'll be training with the first team every day, and then it'll go to playing
Hello.
probably matches with 21s, and then next pre-season because he joins in January, so probably it'll do 6 months training with the first team, playing 21s matches, and see if they can play him here or there, and then come next pre-season is when he gets his real chance of properly involving himself with the first team playing matches wise.
So yeah, so this, he's got all the tools. So this lad has every chance to be a tippy top player. He's superb talent. So I wouldn't, as you said, I wouldn't be against it. But I can't see it happening. I think they're gonna just keep him kind of where he's at. Just keep an eye on him. But yeah, that's my League of Ireland shout. There you go.
Yeah, no, because I just think with Jack Byrne, I just think he's an absolutely wonderful player. I think he's been probably the best player in the League of Ireland over the last month and a half. But saying some things he does is absolutely brilliant, and I just think that if we're going to bring in extra legs into this camp, give lads an opportunity, and it's different. I know you say, but he's been there, he's got a chance before, but it was a completely different coach and setup, completely different time.
He never let us down either.
Yeah.
He didn't do a bad job when he was in. I just want to say that before I get pelts from Shamrock Rovers fans. He always did a job for us.
I just think that of all League of Ireland players that has probably earned it off this season alone was he should be there. And then I think Josh Honan's an obvious one. What he's done over the last 12 months with Shamrock Rovers in Europe, he stepped up at every level and looked at home at every level. Can play left back, can play right back, can play wing back. I think he's an absolutely brilliant footballer, and he's kind of shown that he's ready for in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of clubs come in, try and sign him because he's absolutely brilliant. I think if Neil Ferrugia was still in the League of Ireland, we talk about him getting a call up, but I think he made the wrong move going to Barnsley. But yeah, I think he's other choice you could say, like the likes of Matt Healy at Shamrock Rovers. It is a lot of Shamrock Rovers bias. It's probably because they do really have the best squad in the country. Matt Healy has a shout, you could say, as well, because, and then I think if we were going off last season, I think Dylan Watts would have been, but I think this season hasn't been the greatest start for him so far this year. But no, I think it'd be great to see some sort of League of Ireland involvement. I don't want to see it come to the stage where we call up a goalkeeper and we say the likes of Josh Keeley misses out because we want to bring in a goalkeeper as a token gesture. I think that would be completely wrong because I just don't agree with it, to be honest, because I want someone to be there on merit. And I think there is League of Ireland players that should be there. If they're going to be picked, you would say that they're there on merit. And even you could look at the likes of even like a Patrick Hickey at Galway. I know he's American born, but he qualifies for Ireland through his I think his grandmother, and I think he's probably one of Heimer's probably watched and looked at and thought if he can add something to the Ireland setup, he might bring him in. But it'll be interesting now to see if what he does at 10:30 tomorrow, and if it's an extended squad with 30, 35, between 30 and 40 players, you'd love to think there'll be at least one or two League of Ireland players. I think I'd be more surprised at this stage, to be honest, if Josh Honan isn't picked rather than if he is picked for this squad, because there's been a lot of talk about him. He's been praised by Heimer. Heimer probably wants to have a league. You can tell, but he wants to bring in a player of some sort, and I think he's probably the most likely if you had to pinpoint one name.
Well, we are struggling big time for left-sided, like a left back. I know it's not his main position, but he can play left back. He can do a job there, and we don't like Callum McDowd has been relegated. You don't know what's going to happen. Now you reckon he's going to be in the championship. Fair enough, but you don't know And of course, Robbie Brady, how long is he going to continue for? He's been offered a new contract, not having a go. And then, of course, you've got James McLean. He's now back in the championship. Will he stay in the championship? And if he is, will he be playing week in, week out? I doubt he will. He'll probably be on the bench. They'll want to keep him around the squad because obviously, he's a model pro. If you take away his social media activities, so yeah, we need to. And people probably think, why are we going to go with stupid League of Ireland players? No, like they have to. Like he has to look at the wide net of what we've got. We haven't had somebody we haven't, like Stephen Kenny never did it. He gave young players a chance, and that was probably the first time since Stephen Kenny got the job and he brought in the young players that somebody's actually given these French guys a chance. He didn't do it. Not going to go on about it in November 2022. Won't repeat that. That's been done to death. So this is the first time in about 3 years a manager's going to have a look at what we really, really have. Yeah. And I wouldn't be against Josh Honahan. It probably makes sense. What you got with Conor McDowda. What you got with Robbie Brady. What you have with Matt Doherty. That's why I sort of like put him and Seamus Coleman out of squad. You know what you get with them.
The thing reality is, Dave, we look at this logistically, as even from a Shamrock Rovers point of view, as a Shamrock Rovers fan, because the reality is over the next probably year and a half, Josh Honahan will probably be sold for good money, but he could be sold this summer for very, very good money if he comes into this Ireland squad and then plays against Luxembourg. Because the reality is the Luxembourg players they're going to be playing against are going to be no better, even maybe worse than most players he comes up against the League of Ireland or plays in the Conference League in qualifiers or in the matches. So he won't come in thinking, I'm out of my depth here playing against a Luxembourg, and he's going to have obviously better players around him with Ireland.
And now becomes an international.
Yeah. And then the value rises up. I'm not sure what his contract situation is at Rovers, but I'm sure they have him on a multi-year deal anyway. And the thing is, he could make them a lot of money. He's still only 24 and he's a very versatile player. If they can make him into an international footballer that he does well, I know Rovers fans and we want to see him stay in the League of Ireland as the league is better and helps Rovers hopefully qualify for the Conference League or Europa League again this year. And yeah, I just think it would be great for all parties if Josh Honahan was picked tomorrow. And I think, I don't want to, because I haven't heard anything now, but I just feel like from the way the talk is around Irish football, I think it's the first camp in a while we haven't had any leaks the night before to say who's actually in the squad and who's not, which is quite...
They've got very good at that lately, haven't they?
Well, not really with squads. Squads, they've been leaking stuff out, letting people go. Remember, they're putting out by Sinclair Armstrong getting called up the last time about who was Josh Honahan and Johnny Kenny were all in the provisional squad, if you remember that. But no, this camp, there's been absolutely not a peep of any player. Well, it was leaked, remember, that James Abankwah and Rocco Vata were coming out, were getting the squad. So I don't know whether... I wouldn't be surprised if they've told 0 players who's in tomorrow's squad or not, and it's getting put out tomorrow, so they know what a week earlier than what they should if they're in the squad or not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think though with that they've sort of done that when if they want it leaked, it gets leaked.
Yeah,
I think they'll be very good with that as well. They're trying to get interest and get a bit of interest. And
that's definitely what it is. I'm not saying it's in badness. Is what this.
No, of course, yeah.
Trying to benefit things.
We'll wait until we get our press passes guaranteed, and then we'll start. Like, no, I'm just joking. If you're watching, it's a joke. Cool. Well, as I said, guys, we will be live tonight, Wednesday, 10 o'clock, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Conor will be at the presser. We're going to talk all about that, and then we're going to get your opinion. The most important opinion out there, other than mine, of course, is yours. So get involved tomorrow night. Right, let's have a look at where the League of Ireland table is after 15 games. Here we go. Shamrock Rovers, new leaders. Giant Top, I suppose, on 26 points. Derby City, also on 26 points, but with an inferior goal difference by 7. Drogheda United drop to 3rd. They are on 24 points. 4th, Bohemians on 24 points. They have won 8, lost 7, drawn none. I know. Pats 5th on 22 points. Shelburne 6th on 22 points. Waterford 7th on 21 points. Galway United 8th on 20 points. There is a 6-point gap between 8th and 1st. It is an 8-horse race. Now, a bit further drift down in 9th, Cork City. Of course, they're going to have a new manager. They're 8 points behind. They're on 12 points. They're 8 points away from Galway United. Above them, and of course below them, Sligo Rovers, 10th on 9 points. Only 3 points between Cork and Sligo Rovers. Here are the fixtures for this weekend's action. 5 games on Friday night. The big game, of course, and it's going to be live in the Republic of Ireland on Virgin Media 2. That is Bows against Shels. That is Stadium Park. Then you have Drogheda United at home to Derry City. Galway United at home to Sligo Rovers. St. Pat's will host Cork City. And Waterford will host the current team on top, Shamrock Rovers. Right, we're going to get out of here. Guys, don't forget, join us Wednesday on the 14th, later on tonight, for our Lansdowne War squad reaction episode. We will be live on Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, of course. And we haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel or else. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Conor, thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching at home. This is Lansdowne War, the most interactive podcast out there in Irish football. We'll see you later tonight.